Hey guys, what's going on? It's me Majora Boy, and today I'll be telling you if the new iPad Pro 10.5 can actually be a laptop replacement. So I'll be breaking today's video into 3 parts: overview, personal usage and thoughts, and the verdict. So let's talk about the core component of any tablet, and that is the display. It is what you're going to be looking at and interacting with the most, whether you're consuming media or using it as a productivity machine. The iPad Pro has a 2224 into 1668 resolution that comes in at a PPI of 264. It's brighter than the previous generation of iPads coming at 600 nits, and it also has a new anti-reflective coating that makes it just 1.8% in reflectivity. It also has a wide P3 color gamut and has very accurate colors. Definitely the biggest change you're going to notice once you pick this iPad up is the new Apple ProMotion, which gives the screen a refresh rate of 120Hz. For those who don't know what this means, a previous generation iPad or iPad Pro had a refresh rate of 60Hz, meaning that the pixels refresh 60 times every second. On the 2017 iPad Pros, that has been doubled, which means scrolling around this feels a bit more smoother. Now what Apple has done to optimize ProMotion though, is that it only kicks in the 120Hz refresh rate when it actually needs to, meaning it wouldn't use any unnecessary battery. Now people don't necessarily go and buy a new iPad just for its refresh rate. The reason why it's effective is that if you're an artist, the latency of the Apple Pencil has been cut down to 20 milliseconds, which is far better than the original iPad Pro's 39 milliseconds to 49 milliseconds, which is as good as 3 frames. For my testing, the Apple Pencil worked fine with the original iPad Pro, but once you use the pencil with the new Apple ProMotion display, you can definitely tell the difference. This allows the Apple Pencil to be more responsive and behave more like a regular pencil or pen.
Now I will be talking about the keyboard and pencil later in the video.
Now what makes this iPad Pro better than the previous generation is its hardware. The iPad Pro 10.5 is a monster from the inside. It's rocking the Apple A10X processor, which is a 6-core CPU, which has 3 high performance cores and 3 low performance cores, and it clocks in at 2.39 GHz. It has 4GB of RAM and comes in 64, 128, 256 and 512GB storage configurations that are non-expandable. And even with all of this hardware in it, it is still so lightweight. Also the screen has these really thin bezels which just make the 10.5 look so much more cooler and gives it much more screen realistic in a small form factor. It has 4 stereo speakers, 2 on each side, which get really loud. It also has a smart connector by which you can connect the accessories which use the smart connection feature. One place where the iPad Pro goes really overkill is with its camera. It's rocking a 12 megapixel primary camera which can take some really good photos and shoot videos in 4K, and a 7 megapixel front facing camera for those real crisp FaceTimes. Now I don't suggest you to go out there with your iPad Pro to take photos or videos, because you seriously don't want to be this guy in the crowd. You know your iPad Pro can do it, but don't do it. The thing that I like the most about the iPad Pro 10.5 is iOS 11. iOS 11 really elevates the experience. Multitasking is great, which makes you touch the home button a lot less, because of which work gets done faster. The dock is really good because with a single swipe, all of my apps which are on the dock are easily available. Also, the control center is now bundled in with the app switcher. Now, for all of those drag and drop enthusiasts, the iPad Pro finally has drag and drop functionality, which is super helpful while making documents. Now let's talk about the main iPad Pro accessories. Let's start with the keyboard. The upper smart keyboard keys are covered in nylon fabric material, which are soft to the touch and give a really nice tactile feel. The bottom side of the keyboard is fabric covered, as the keyboard folds to become a smart cover for your iPad Pro. To connect the keyboard, just align the keyboard with the smart connector and you're done. The keyboard doesn't require any Bluetooth pairing or any recharging, as all of its needs are taken care by the iPad Pro, and overall has a really great typing experience. The only downside to this keyboard is that the keys aren't backlit. Let's talk about the pencil now. The Apple Pencil design is very similar to that of a regular pencil. It's nicely weighted, which makes it feel good in the hand while doing precision tasks. The pencil uses pressure and sensitivity sensors for precise sketching and is mostly made with an artist in mind. The Apple Pencil is connected via Bluetooth. To pair, simply turn on Bluetooth and plug the Apple Pencil into the lightning port, and you're done. So I use my iPad Pro as a video/photo editing setup, and the Apple keyboard and pencil play an integral part in this. So if you're a video editor, you know how important it is to get those precise trims and cuts, and I'm able to get them because of my Apple Pencil. So currently I'm using iMovie, and a big advantage iMovie has is inbuilt commands, which can be accessed through the keyboard, like press spacebar to pause, press right arrow key to go 10 frames forward, and other commands like that. To me, iMovie is a really great software as it has got nice and clean UI and has got some really good features in it. In addition to iMovie, I also use Chromic for doing slight color grading. Chromic is really good for color grading, but the only downside it has is that you're gonna have to pay some money to get the full experience. Download all my music onto my iPad. I use an app called Documents, which allows me to download anything from the web and store it on the iPad and even sort it out in different files. Now, if you're a professional video editor looking at the iPad Pro as a video editing machine, then you should get LumaFusion. It is a superb alternate to Premiere Pro and Final Cut. Now, I don't have a lot of experience with pro video editing applications, but many YouTube creators are saying that LumaFusion is a great alternate to Premiere Pro and Final Cut Pro. I myself am going to be upgrading to LumaFusion in some time. Photo editing is also good. Now, you ain't gonna have the full desktop version of Photoshop. Now, there are apps from Adobe like Photoshop Express, Mix, Fix and Lightroom. I use these apps together to make my thumbnails and it does the job pretty well. But if you want to do some heavy video editing, then I suggest getting Affinity Photo as it is basically the Photoshop of iOS. Now, in my free time, I do play some games on my iPad Pro. One of my current favorite being PUBG Mobile. Now, PUBG Mobile is a graphically intensive game, and on HDR settings, ultra frame rates and realistic style, the iPad Pro barely breaks a sweat. Now, I'm not saying that you should go and buy an iPad Pro just for gaming. It's like lighting your money on fire. But if you already own the 10.5 and want to do some light gaming, then you do have the option to do that. Now, my thoughts on the iPad Pro as a video/photo editing machine. I think that the iPad Pro can easily handle softwares like Premiere Pro and Final Cut because of its hardware, and all it needs is optimization from its developers for the iPad Pro. And when it comes to gaming on the iPad Pro, all it needs is third-party support, and those games should have MFI controller compatibility, and you're looking at a very legit laptop replacer. So when you add up the prices of all the accessories and the iPad Pro 10.5, things get pricey, even if you're getting the base model of 64GB. Now that's the thing, right? You can build a really good PC for the price or even get a really good laptop in the same price range. But what the iPad Pro is offering you is that it's giving you crazy performance in a thin and light chassis which can get the work done, and that's what matters. So yes, it did replace a laptop for me, but tell me down in the comments below, what do you think of an iPad Pro replacing a laptop? If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a big fat thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content just like this one. And as always, I'll be signing off for today and I'll catch you in the next one.